A lot has, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, 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 yes, ooh, yes, yes.
Can you go visit Vitality in jail?
I'm actually gonna go visit him in October.
Can you film it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
That'll be quite
Skinny, man.
Because he's used to going for just days, 30 days, you know? That's it. He's not used to anything else because he just never is punished for it.
Guys, Vitaly Zadorovetsky is in big trouble. The news is so old that Vitaly is still not getting deported. Many rumors have swirled about why, but the actual reason is still unknown. Why hasn't Vitaly been taken back to America yet? Now some secrets are coming out about why Vitaly's deportation is taking longer. Some are even saying America might not take him back anymore and he'll have to look for a third country because Russia also doesn't see him as Russian anymore. On top of that, Vitaly hasn't made a settlement with the authorities for a smaller amount of money. Meanwhile, his mother was allegedly scammed by fake lawyers. But is that true? Or did his mother stage the drama to claim there's no money left and grab all of Vitaly Zadorovetsky's property? There's more you'll find in today's video, so keep watching till the end. As you know, Vitaly Zadorovetsky has been stuck in a Philippine jail for over half a month. As you already know, his allies and friends have been trying to meet him, even bringing food, because they haven't lost hope. But the Philippine authorities are still strict and haven't let anyone get close to Vitaly. One of Vitaly's friends even exposed this before.
Can you go visit Vitality in jail?
I think you can, yeah, you can take him food. I'm actually gonna go visit him in October.
Can you film it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
That'll be quite
Skinny, man.
I actually feel bad for him now, because like no one deserves that long before he did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like,
now, why are the Philippine authorities not taking risks? Everyone knows that the Philippine prison system has corruption issues that are being exposed everywhere. If more videos or proof come out, the situation for the authorities might get unstable. That's why I think the Philippine authorities aren't letting Vitaly meet any of his allies. Or maybe they know Vitaly can plan something. As you know, Vitaly's deportation is now unstable. You can say it's unofficially confirmed, but there are still many days left and the situation hasn't changed. Now some secrets have been revealed. News is saying why American authorities don't want to take Vitaly back and what they could lose if they do. You can see online chatter about a theory that Vitaly Zadorovetsky made a secret deal years ago. In exchange for less punishment or dropped cases, he'd stay out of certain countries. People who believe this say it explains why both Russia and the US are looking the other way on his deportation. No documents proving such a deal have appeared, and legal experts say such soft exile deals would be very unusual. Still, the idea has added mystery to an already strange international standoff. Because remember, Vitaly actually didn't get arrested. He got himself arrested for views.
And I came out of jail, every video was hitting 1 million views.
Whoa.
Out of every negative situation, I get positive. So if I go to jail tonight, or today, or for how many days, because I'm ready.
Many creators even exposed that later.
Yeah, he's making a mockery as well. That's another thing that people don't see. He's making a mockery and he's saying days. Because he's used to going for just days, 30 days, you know? That's it. He's not used to anything else because he just never is punished for it.
Completely agree with that. Vitaly is one of the top people in the IRL streaming community who is known for being arrested many times. Some say 10 to 20 times in his life, and even spent time in jail but got released by paying money. When people like this don't get real punishment, never learn anything. That's why Vitaly Zadorovetsky never feared anything before and still did a lot of crimes. Now that the Philippine authorities have him stuck there, I think Vitaly deserves it. The controversy and secrets don't end here, there's more to come. Some people online who call themselves investigators say Vitaly's early adult content business and prank merchandise went through fake companies in at least 3 countries. This money maze theory says sending him back could cause tax checks or money audits in both Russia and the US, so neither side wants to take him. There's no real proof of this, but viral posts point to his sudden business closures and long breaks in public income as suspicious patterns. Officials in Manila say only that paperwork problems are delaying his deportation. Now let's talk about another big struggle for Vitaly and why he is literally out of money, and why he's not making a settlement with the Philippine authorities. The truth is, he's out of money, and that's why he can't make a settlement. His mother supposedly lost a lot of money while sending a crypto payment to a fake lawyer.
Like his mom got scammed for trying to pay for his legal fees.
But is that really true? Because no update ever came after that, and no real source in the Philippines confirmed it. That's why many people and some news investigation media are saying Vitali's mom might be pretending she lost money to take all of Vitali's property. Because Vitali can't check his real net worth while in custody, if his mom says there's nothing left, just imagine how much of a family conspiracy could be there. Even after Vitali's arrest, while all of his friends were seen visiting him in custody, there's no news that his mom went to see him. So just imagine, is this a real relationship between mother and son? Or is it all just a show, and maybe his mother doesn't even want him anymore because Vitali always ignored her advice and made her look like a joke in his content? His own mom struggled to control her 35-year-old son. If you need proof, just watch this clip. It clearly shows how Vitali's mom was desperately trying to stop him from doing more disgusting IRL content. But Vitali didn't listen. He ignored every warning, every instruction, and the surprising part, he got arrested right after not listening to his mom.
I don't want my mom to follow us, but come on, dude. Dude, this is my stream, dude. I want to get away from my mom. I'm gonna get arrested. Oh no. Oh no, mommy. Oh no, mommy. Oh no, mommy. I'm gonna get arrested. Oh no, I'm gonna get arrested for stealing a hat. What's the charge here? Will they arrest me or the cops will just tell me to stop when we get arrested?
It might.
How much worth it? What are they gonna know? Okay, they arrest me. Is it like a bail here?
Like disturbing the peace.
Like, yeah, that's the whole title. Will I get out?
Yeah.
Will I get out of jail next day or no?
Did you hear this? Vitali literally asked Sly Kane if he could get out the next day on bail if he got arrested. This video is proof that everything Vitali did, he did it while being fully aware of his actions. He committed these crimes with a clear mind and common sense. After denying his mom like this, Vitali was soon arrested by the Philippine police. At first, his mom was concerned about him, but she left quickly. It seemed like she cared more about Vitali's wealth than about him personally. Most of the time, Vitali destroyed her reputation. He behaved in a very disgusting way, and his mom couldn't manage him anymore. So maybe for her, it was better to just leave this kind of son behind.
While controversial streamer Vitali was arrested for his his chaos-filled antics, the person who helped engineer everything, his own mother, quietly slipped out of the country. Now she's free. She has access to his millions. The reality is, Elena walking free could unravel the whole case. With full access to Vitali's wealth, she now has the power to exploit legal loopholes, exert pressure, and maybe even buy influence.
This might explain what kind of man Vitali really is, and it also raises questions about where he got this behavior from. Maybe there's some betrayal in his bloodline. If Vitali is a clout chaser and a disgusting criminal, then what does that say about his mom? She is the mother of a criminal, or maybe even worse.
Another thing also came up here. Remember when Vitali needed to make a settlement with the authorities? His mom sold one of Vitali's villas in America. So just imagine, maybe Vitali's mom's main intention was to sell the property and get the money first. Because if she actually sold it and got 10 million from it, why is Vitali still in prison without deportation? The only reason might be that the authorities didn't get the full payment.
Vitali Zadorovetsky is reportedly selling his multi-million-dollar Los Angeles villa. Fearing for his life and freedom, he made a desperate move, selling his luxury villa to pay fines and, allegedly, to bribe the chief judge.
So what did a mother like her really get in return? She's now facing trouble because of Vitali's actions. She lost her reputation, and right now she's not even respected anywhere. People have started comparing her to an object. Even Neon's friend said he wants to marry her just to get her, which shows how little respect people now have for the mother of a well-known prankster. It's sad, but this is what happens when someone's fame is built on disrespect and chaos.
Do you think he should be out of jail right now?
Come on, man. He brought his mom there. He was just having a fun time.
But you see his mom was like half naked the whole time?
Bro, I want to marry his mom. How can I get in contact with her?
Just imagine how heartbreaking it is for a mother to be disrespected because of her own son's behavior and crimes. Vitali's actions haven't just affected his own life. They've seriously impacted his mom's life too. So it's possible that Vitali's mom felt disrespected by Vitali, and maybe her inner greed made it worse. That could be why Vitali's mom isn't showing full effort to save him. So guys, what do you think?
That's what one prominent conservative says the political right is facing in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's murder. Jack Posobiec, a close friend of Kirk's, is talking to CNN about who could lead the movement that Kirk helped to build and how Republicans should respond to Kirk's murder. Mina Durson is out.
Damn it, I'm hungry. I need to eat
His
something.
friend and Turning Point contributor Jack Posobiec sat in the studio, leaving Kirk's chair open as a tribute. How do you avoid?
There's no placement for Charlie Kirk.
Posobiec is in right-wing media, where some of his peers were quick to call Kirk's assassination an act of war.
Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war.
Do you think we're at war?
My friend's in a box right now, and it wasn't an accident.
Where are we facing war?
There's no question that we're facing asymmetrical warfare, one of the key aspects of political assassination. That being said, the idea.
speed up your language learning?
do you think about Vitaly's deportation delay? Let me know.
Well, it's all I can do in this short space.
I told you night shift.
I'm leaving. I'm going to dinner right now. I have to go. My mom.
I already called the police. So that,
you called the police?
Because this is a violation.
He forced me.
This is a violation.
I'm trying to be straight.
I'm trying to be nice. This is a violation.
I appreciate you, sir.
So if you don't move, then the police are on.
We're moving. We're moving. The police is crazy. Oh, here, yeah.
You're telling me, wait, no, this is not a license.
What would you call it?
This is not a license.
That's my license.
But if you move and stay like on the sidewalk, so you will be good.
Jack Doherty kicked out by a security officer in a Miami restaurant. Yes, guys, you heard that right. This time, Jack Doherty is fully humiliated and was literally handed over to the police because he violated the restaurant's rules. Jack Doherty is in serious trouble, and I don't even know how he got fully stuck in this mess. As you know, he was already involved with Wes Watson in that Miami restaurant incident where Wes Watson and his bodyguard got into a mess and Jack Doherty was caught up in it too. At that time, there were even claims that Jack Doherty might get arrested. But this time, a security officer from Allied Universal Security Services just kicked him out because he violated their rules. Jack Doherty is now in really big trouble. So what actually happened and how was Jack Doherty further humiliated? Let me break it down for you. At first, Jack Doherty was at a Miami restaurant streaming on his nuisanceparty.com stream. A security officer from Allied Universal confronted him and asked whether he had the proper license. What the officer found was shocking and potentially very dangerous for Jack Doherty. For context, Allied Universal is a security services provider operating in Miami, Florida. They were responsible for providing security at this restaurant. When the officer could not find a legitimate license from Jack Doherty, just see what happened next.
What happened?
This is a private property.
Oh, okay, should we leave?
Yeah, so no, listen, they don't allow people to like film on the property without the permission. If you got a license for the streaming, you show us and we send it to the applicant, so you gotta be good.
Yeah. Oh, here, yeah.
You're telling me, wait, no, this is not a license.
What would you call it?
Did you see that shady behavior from Jack Doherty? He actually knew he didn't have the proper license, but he still acted completely ridiculous in front of the officer. At first, the officer didn't even have to be aggressive. He just calmly told Jack Doherty to leave the area and go to the side.
This is not a license.
That's my license.
But if you move and stay like on the sidewalk, so you will be good. But for here, so we don't want to be in trouble. That's why I'm trying to let you know. If you move over here, so
did it work?
No.
No, I just see that. I just go there. I was like, bro, I have to move here.
We'll just leave.
Living right now?
Yeah, only if you join my Pumped Out Fun Live.
Guys, what is that? I mean,
yeah, only if you join my Pumped Out Fun Live.
Guys, what is that? I mean, seriously, on a 24/7 live stream, Jack Doherty probably shows this kind of behavior thousands of times every hour. Yes, I'm totally disgusted just seeing it. I mean, what is that? What kind of mess does he have on his head? His hair looks like a complete disaster, and I don't even know why he's literally touching and messing with it all the time. I can't even tell what he's doing with it. It's short, messy, and chaotic. And when someone talks to him, he's always glued to his phone. I don't know, guys. What do you think about that? Let me know.
Alright, you got that? Alright, cool.
So I know I'm going to be on the camera, but so we're trying to do our job. That's our job. You cannot film on the property without the permission of the property. So we're trying to be nice, alright? Okay?
Yeah? I'm leaving. Sorry. My mom was calling.
But later, Jack Doherty did something truly disgusting. He crossed all lines while some kids were nearby with their bikes, and he was just there, clearly clout chasing. I honestly don't understand how someone could behave like this in a residential area, as if he owns the place. Eventually, the security officer confronted him again and this time gave a serious warning. The police were already on their way.
Should I try? The back brake works good?
Yeah, but just be careful. Have you ever ridden in before?
Of course, yeah. Oh my God. Wait. Yo, why is it like, what's wrong with this shit? Oh yeah, this shit's fucked up, bro. I ain't wheeling on that fucking shit. Hell nah. Hell to the fuck nah. What the fuck? You should have warned me about that broken ass handlebars. This is the most broken handlebars. Yeah,
For a little context, as you know, Jack Doherty has messed with bikes like this many times before, and still, he hasn't learned his lesson. This time, he was trying to do something with a bike even in a public place. No, I mean common sense. How can someone behave like this? People are literally disgusted. I don't even know. He was in front of another kid's bike and completely ignored previous warnings. And of course, he was just clout chasing the whole time.
Try yours.
Yo, don't wheelie, bro. I thought you just wanted to keep through.
Whoops. That's all I can do in this short space. All right, here we go.
Be better than him.
Do I?
Yeah, I told you night shift.
I'm leaving. I'm going to dinner right now. I have to go. My mom.
I already called the police. So
You called the police?
Because this is a violence.
He forced me to wheelie. He said if you don't wheelie, then you're gay.
Oh my god. How many lies can Jack Doherty say? Now that the consequences are coming, he's literally blaming kids. I mean, what kind of shady and disgusting behavior is that? At first, he was completely reckless. He literally went to the kids and begged for a ride. I said that was totally reckless, but when he actually rode, he started blaming the kids for all the mistakes and saying it was their fault for telling him to do it. I mean, what he said is literally disgusting to me. He should be arrested for this kind of behavior in that place. Guys, don't you think he should be arrested?
What am I supposed to do? Be gay?
Be nice. You know, this is a violation.
I'm trying to be straight.
I'm trying to be nice. This is a violation.
I appreciate you, sir.
So if you don't move, the police are.
We're moving. The police is crazy. Trying to call the police on me. Call the police. The police.
So the messed up actions didn't actually stop there. Later, we even saw a fan of Jack Doherty, but what this fan said was actually totally funny. It humiliated Jack Doherty in a completely different way. This just shows why people hate Jack Doherty, but the exact reason is still uncertain.
I don't know why people hate on you, bro. I don't understand, you know. You're above all these people, I swear to God.
I'm not gonna leave, I'm just telling you.
D1 glazing his way in.
Actually, everyone already knows why people hate Jack Doherty. Only his fans don't. I don't even know if his fans were saying it ironically to humiliate him or not, but what actually happened here is totally disgusting. In this residential area, and in such a big area, Jack Doherty just came to clout chase, hunt for attention, and boost his stream views by making his nuisance party stream. This is completely reckless. Just imagine, some days ago, he was refused service by a McDonald's worker, as you already know.
Because y'all lame as hell. Why are you coming here trying to troll?
We're trying to order food. We're not trying to troll.
And listen to what we're saying. You are short as in real life. Oh my God. But go to the intercom.
Yeah, right?
But now he's being refused by everyone in the area, everywhere he goes. People are literally humiliating him and rejecting him from places. And honestly, Jack Doherty deserves it for his actions. What he's doing right now is totally disgusting. When people see him confront someone like Wes Watson, fake alpha male persona, and get into a mess in public,
Go around your buddies, they'll talk to you. Dude, the whole thing is you're hating because we're trying to do something. You want to disrespect motherfuckers?
it's reckless and harmful. This kind of behavior violates social norms, ruins public spaces, and disturbs the calmness of the community. All of this chaos is caused by Jack Doherty and his shady actions. He should face consequences. He should be punished for all of this. If not, just imagine what he could do next. Something even more reckless and disgusting, potentially harming more people. I think Jack Doherty should definitely be held accountable. What do you think? And if Jack Doherty isn't arrested for this, then what can stop him from doing even worse? Let me know what you think about all of this.
Did you know the average person spends 4 hours and 37 minutes on their phone each day? That's 70 full days every year. Now over a lifetime, that's over 14 years.
Well, it's digital fentanyl in the sense that it's highly addictive.
The average teen gets more than 200 notifications on their phone in 24 hours.
These days, screen time seems to be all the time.
Every one of those moments quietly chipping away at your sleep, your health, and your focus. In that context, it makes sense that changing how you use your phone is one of the biggest levers on improving your health. This is a step-by-step guide on how to protect yourself and retake control. Your phone is like the frog in the pot of the slow boiling water, quietly ruining your sleep. Staring at the blue light from your phone suppresses the sleep hormone melatonin, and it spikes the stress hormone cortisol. This makes it harder for you to fall asleep. Even if you do fall asleep quickly, the quality of your sleep will actually be worse. Here is the first fix. Activate night shift or Android bed mode. This shifts blue enriched light to warmer tones. pushing light below the 30 lux threshold, which preserves melatonin. But this doesn't eliminate blue light completely. To totally eliminate the blue light, you want to activate red light mode. Now this is helpful if you need to check your phone for something urgent at night. So here's how you can set it up on the iPhone. Go to Settings, Accessibility, Display and Text Size, Color Filters. Turn on color filters, then choose color tint. Set the intensity and hue sliders all the way to the right to make the screen red. You can also engage this again with a triple tap on the side button. Go back to Settings, Accessibility, Accessibility Shortcut. Select color filters as the shortcut. Red mode now activated. The next problem is how most of us hold our phones.
And just the way you're holding the phone could be causing you some serious pain.
If your neck feels sore after holding your phone, that's your spine screaming for help. A 2014 paper showed that tilting your neck at 45 degrees increases the load on your cervical discs from around 10 pounds to around 49 pounds of force. Doing this routinely caused a 46% increase in reported pain. Fixing this is kind of hard because we're not naturally acclimated to holding our arms up. Now this also applies to laptops. You want to have your screen at eye level. You do not want to be looking down. Friends, this is what I do. It doesn't draw any attention. Men, avoid stashing your phone next to your boys.
You might have heard that carrying your phone in your pocket can reduce your testosterone levels and sperm count, and guess what? That is true.
A lot of men carry their phone in their front pocket, not realizing that it may affect their fertility. A meta-analysis of 18 studies showed that proximate phone RF lowered sperm motility and viability. Just a little distance lowers your exposure by orders of magnitude. Next, you want to cap your volume at 80 decibels. I hear you, sometimes you just want to crank it up because it feels so good, or you're listening to music and you want to override the street noise or a crowd. But what you may not realize is you're entering the danger zone for hearing loss. Sound is measured in decibels, and for 40 hours a week, you can safely listen up to 80 decibels. Now push that up to 90 decibels and the safety zone reduces to 4 hours. That's when you start risking hearing loss. Earbuds can easily hit 100 decibels on max volume, meaning just 15 minutes of that exposure can cause hearing damage. If you're doing this, you'll notice your hearing getting worse and worse until one day you get a ringing in your ear that just won't go away. Okay, so here's some solutions. In your phone settings, you can enforce an 80 decibel cap. Now for external noise that's going to exceed those safe levels, some earbuds and headphones have noise cancellation. Next, when you get in the car, switch on Do Not Disturb. Driving is probably the most dangerous thing all of us do on a daily basis. When your phone is notifying you as you drive, that makes things sketchy. Sending or reading a text takes your eyes off the road for as much as 5 seconds. At 55 miles an hour, that is the equivalent of driving the length of a football field blind. Even glancing at a notification increases your crash risk by 4 to 6x. In 2022 alone, over 3,500 deaths were related to these distraction-related events. So the solution here is to turn on Do Not Disturb with CarPlay and Android Auto. Alternatively, you could put your phone in the glove box, in the bag, or somewhere where you can't see it. Next, text with both thumbs or use voice dictation. Here's a quick one. Case reports suggest using one thumb may give you tendinitis. So the options are use what evolution gave you, 2 thumbs, your voice, or don't text. Next, you dirty animals, wipe your screens daily with microfiber and 70% alcohol. Phones are pretty disgusting. Researchers at the University of Arizona found that phones have 10 times more bacteria than toilet seats. Just like you've learned to wipe your ass, learn how to wipe your phone with microfiber and 70% alcohol. Now, if you haven't heard of the 20-20-20 rule, you're really missing out.
An easy solution is to adopt the 20-20-20 eye care habit.
20-20-20 rule?
The 20-20 rule. 20-20-20 rule.
Now, if you're staring at your screens for hours, you're focused on a close-up object. It dries your eyes and leaves them irritated. Over time, this causes temporary nearsighted blur. Okay, so here's the 20-20-20 rule. For every 20 minutes you stare at a screen, for 20 seconds, stare at something 20 feet away. All of these things, of course, are a band-aid on the wound, which is how much time you actually spend on your phone every day. So how can each of us stop or lessen our addictive, compulsive use of our phones? Eliminate all notifications. they constantly interrupt everything we're doing. Did you know that it takes the average person 23 minutes to regain focus after an interruption? Eliminate all notifications, X, IG, WhatsApp, TikTok, although do enable Brian Johnson notifications on YouTube. Only allow messages from those who are actually useful to you in case of an emergency. After 1 week alone, you will feel calmer and at greater peace. Okay, now if you absolutely need to enable certain strategic notifications, don't do that either. Now, if you find that your compulsive, addictive habits to the phone are stopping you from turning off notifications, there are actually apps that block entirely the apps. I think we all need this. There was a study that showed that addictive behaviors on checking it predicted mood disorders like depression much more than just raw minutes. So the way you engage with the phone actually is predictive of your mood. There are apps like Opal and OneSec which help you manage your access of these apps that you find addictive and compulsively compelling. But there's also some other creative solutions like this company called Brick. You have this device that sits somewhere in your home. If you want to get access to a certain app like Instagram, you have to go to the device and scan it, then it opens up the app. So people are less likely to do that because you probably don't want to get up off the couch. Now this may sound extreme, but honestly, we all know it's kind of true. The simplistic solutions rarely actually change our behavior, and sometimes we need to resort to the more extreme versions to keep ourselves in check. Next, grayscale and low saturation. Now, companies use colors to create dopamine loops that create more addictive and compulsive behavior. The way you can fight back at this is change the color to monochrome. In studies, it showed that it reduced usage by 11% within 1 week. To do this on the iPhone, go to Settings, Accessibility, Display and Text Size, Color Filters, turn on Grayscale. You can also engage this again with a triple tap on the side button. Next, have phone-free places.
So put down that phone and listen up.
First question is, have you phubbed your friends? Phubbing is when you phone snub somebody and you look at your screen instead of making eye contact. This makes everybody around you more stressed and erodes your relationships. A 2025 study showed that phubbing reduces relationship satisfaction by 9%, and it made conflict and jealousy much more likely. Be a good human and maintain eye contact. Put your phone away when somebody else is talking. You can also establish phone-free zones at the dinner table, in the bedroom, in the front seat of the car. One solution is to keep your phone charger outside your bedroom, which prevents you from doom scrolling all night long, wrecking your sleep.
Put it down. It's not worth it.
Next, you can schedule phone-free times.
Say the mere presence of our phones can cause brain drain, whether they're on or even off.
We all need long stretches of time without access to our phones. Do a small experiment. Lock it in a drawer for 60 minutes and just see how you feel. With that small success, you can then try a half day. A good sleep hygiene practice is 60 minutes before bed, shut that shit down. Next, let's do a screen time audit. Sometimes just seeing the horrifying information of how much you actually use your phone can actually lessen your usage. One way to approach this problem is to identify which apps you're spending the most time on. If Instagram is your weakness, try as the first step cutting that time in half. Once you've accomplished that and filled with momentum, check in weekly to see if you're on point or if you can cut it further. Friends, real talk now is the acknowledgement that we are all compulsively addicted to our phones. Children, parents, everybody. It is incredibly hard to not do this because on our phones are things that we love and care about, our work, our friends, our family, entertainment. This creates a very complicated relationship for us to not use our phones. And it creates a form of anxiety when you step away from the phone, you don't know what to do with yourself. Honestly, we all know this, our phones are really bad for us. They don't make us better people because of our excessive use. Also, the companies that build things on these phones, they build the things to addict you and me to their applications. They're asking us to exchange our life for their profits. It's really a nefarious situation. Now, of course, there are positive things. It's wonderful to communicate and to share and be part of a larger group of people. Also, they're corrosive and they ruin so many things about our health and wellness. So the goal here is to be aware of these dangers, take small steps to improve your life, because if we do, it will make you and me a better human and we will build a better world.
Just exploded. The whole door just blew clean off the plane.
Look at the door! It f***ing exploded!
I found the lawsuit documents from the jet company, and they claim that Logan opened the door.
You pay $1 to say something?
Yeah, but all people are going to do that.
Charge $5. I think it's a privilege to be able to say Texas.
Logan Paul just got fully destroyed. As you know, Logan Paul is the most hated, infamous, and well-known figure on the internet and all over the world, as he is a WWE wrestler and also a businessman who is actually well-known for scamming a lot of people with his money. But now he is getting destroyed totally. His empire has totally crumbled, he has no money left and nothing to survive on. So Logan Paul is actually now totally destroyed. How did this all happen? I will give you a full breakdown in this video, so let's watch till the end. As you know, Logan Paul is the person who made a lot of brands that fully scammed people and rigged people's money from the beginning. His multiple lawsuit allegations, family issues, and other crimes he committed all just made his situation, and even his life, totally worse. So why is Logan Paul in this position today? It's only Logan Paul's mistake. He is the person who intended to rig people more and more. He is the person who actually keeps training others on how they can scam a lot of money from others. That's why even once, when he went on Aiden Ross's stream, Logan Paul trained him on how he could rig people more. Just watch this video.
Bro, you have 62,000 people watching. You pay $1 to say something?
Yeah, but all people are going to do that. Everybody.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So how do I get like you, dude?
Charge $5. I think it's a privilege to be able to say text-to-speech something on Aiden Ross Street.
Oh,
with 60,000 people watching. They could be plugging product, building brands as we speak.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, you see that. As you know, in chat donations, people give money to streamers. But Logan Paul actually suggested increasing the minimum donation if anyone wants to comment. So just imagine, Logan Paul actually knows how to rig people. He can get money from people's pockets and make himself richer. That intention actually made Logan Paul develop a scammer mindset. Remember, he is such a scammer that a person like Mr. Beast, who is called a humanitarian and one of the biggest creators, also partnered with Logan Paul in the business of Lunchly. Here, with another partner streamer KSI, Logan Paul and Mr. Beast made another product to scam people's money, which even Mr. Beast unfortunately exposed once. Once on a podcast, Mr. Beast even talked about this with Logan Paul, as people were accusing their Prime hydration drink of containing chemicals.
You're telling me you don't purposely just put, what is it, forever chemicals in your drink to...
Bro, we were shocked. Yeah. Me and him are talking. We're like, yo, what do people
You don't
think
just
this is?
bust open barrels of forever chemicals and dump that in there?
Not only that, multiple lawsuits and allegations against Logan Paul have actually ruined his life. Once a lawsuit was filed, Logan Paul was on a private jet, but what he did made him more controversial, and he was on the verge of getting sued. A lawyer explained this issue.
What the cabin door just exploded. The whole door just blew clean off the plane.
Look at the door! It f***ing exploded!
I found the lawsuit documents from the jet company, and they claim that Logan opened the door.
The lead passenger on the flight was Logan Paul. Prior to the commencement of the flight, Mr. Paul forcibly opened the door to the...
Oh man, forcibly opened the door.
Just imagine how shady Logan Paul is. He was with his pregnant fiance at that time, and he literally did not care about that. He literally made the situation worse than Jack Doherty. So I think what Logan Paul did is too shady, and maybe even later he didn't face consequences because he possibly settled with money and actually only knows that. Logan Paul's character and behavior are actually totally shady. He doesn't care about his life or even his family's life. That's why he can do anything, anytime. Just imagine, Logan Paul actually has no regard for his fiance. He just made her a public figure for marketing purposes, because right now, it is also exposed that Logan Paul actually used his wife for his own gain. This has made his family situation totally worse.
And what he calls a song and dance in order to stop you from bothering him for a while. Mystery solved, I guess, and it looks like there's trouble in paradise already. If you look closely here, we can see that they're fighting in the car. Like, it looks like a physical fight.
The Logan Paul and Nina Agdal relationship started looking less like a real marriage and more like a publicity show. Logan Logan used Nina multiple times, from his Prime Hydration promotions to launching projects. He even took advantage of her pregnancy just for extra marketing buzz. In the end, both of them played each other, and now because of all the shady stuff and the non-stop exposals, their relationship doesn't look anything like before. Not only that, his business empire is totally crumbled. Just imagine Prime Hydration. Logan Paul lost 90% of his stake and all hope for his business empire. Prime sales, which once hit hundreds of millions,
We are flying. I don't know if you want to say the numbers.
You want the numbers?
Yeah, we want the numbers.
What are we dealing with here? All right. We cleared $110 million in retail sales.
are now under tension. Schools banned it, lawsuits came up claiming illegal levels of caffeine, and parents are calling it unsafe.
Just 12 ounces. It has an Prime has an eye-popping level of caffeine.
That's his biggest business connection to the mainstream, and it's shaking. On top of that, you've got the crypto scam. Millions lost, investors betrayed, CoffeeZilla exposing him.
How much did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in cryptos.
I lost $40,000.
Logan tried to sue back, but it only damaged his reputation further. Then there's the stunt with the BBC journalist, where instead of answering real questions, he sent his twin to insult them. That destroyed whatever little credibility he had left in the mainstream media.
There's a strange atmosphere in the room, and a suspicious amount of Logan's own cameras pointed at us. All of a sudden, it becomes clear why.
What's up, dude? How's it going? Thanks. Matt, sorry, I'm tired. No worries. Last night was hard.
All of this built a fragile image. Once a man loses business, reputation, and finally his family, that's the end. Logan Paul is on the brink of losing the last thing that made him look stable. He has no money left, and I'm not just saying that. When he was welcomed by Mr. Beast on his Team Water charity, Logan Paul said he had nothing. He was totally confused about needing a $100,000 donation for Mr. Beast's charity. He was totally confused, and Mr. Beast and others actually forced him to make the $100,000 donation.
Would you be down to donate $1 million for water?
No, I'm broke. Jimmy, can I do a discount?
So you owe $100,000 now, right?
I'll do it.
All right, thank you, Logan.
So just imagine, Logan Paul's situation is totally worse. He is nearly broke. I know this may be ironic, but this is the time to give donations to people, and Logan Paul said he can't do that. This type of person actually can't do it because they want to take from people but don't want to give. That's why Logan Paul is actually a shady scammer. Not only that, Logan Paul's situation with his CryptoZoo scam caused him to lose money from many people who even acted like victims. But this time, Logan Paul actually made his situation totally worse. He is literally trying to make the CoffeeZilla defamation case so he can destroy CoffeeZilla. But CoffeeZilla exposed him, and this situation is making Logan Paul embarrassed. Logan Paul wants CoffeeZilla broken. This situation is making Logan Paul actually broke. This time, Logan Paul is fully destroyed by this case as well.
CoffeeZilla, who's incredible, by the way. A very thorough, good-hearted, smart guy, did a deep dive into this project that I attempted to make called CryptoZoo.
So that's why right now he's thinking if he can create trouble for CoffeeZilla, maybe CoffeeZilla will be busy defending himself and won't expose Logan's other scams. This is actually his main target. And anyway, Logan Paul plans to escape by blaming his co-founders, then pay fines, and after that, execute his next plan. So as you can see, Logan Paul's own plan is backfiring, and he's running out of options. Every move he makes to manipulate or attack CoffeeZilla is only digging him deeper into trouble. From the CryptoZoo scam to this defamation mess, it looks like the consequences are finally catching up. Now all we can do is watch and see how the courts handle this. But one thing is clear, trying to play dirty with money and manipulation only works for so long. So that's the full breakdown of how Logan Paul went from being on top to completely destroyed. From shady business deals to ignoring the consequences of his actions, he's now facing the results of his own choices. This is a clear reminder that no matter how big you get, if you play with people's trust and money, eventually it all catches up. What do you think about Logan Paul's situation? Do you think he'll ever recover, or is this truly the end of his empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
There's videos of him wandering around aimlessly,
he started to re-upload to his social media. Now, I'm going to give a big warning here. Korea that are very motivated to take down Johnny Somali are saying, hey, this is on the table. Now, it's creative, it's new, but if the judge in Korea and the prosecutors are mad enough, this is absolutely on the table.
Guys, we got some big updates about Johnny Somali. Johnny Somali once again made a mistake and once again angered the judge in the court. Yes, you heard that right. This time the judge and the court are once again against Johnny Somali brutally. And this time Johnny Somali is facing new backlash from the court and the judge. And why? Because Johnny Somali is right now doing something the judge and the court warned him before not to do. But actually, Johnny Somali is doing those kinds of things once again and literally denying the warning of the court and the judge. That's why the court and prosecution are now once again making new charges for Johnny Somali.
The judge in Korea and the prosecutors are mad enough. This is absolutely on the table.
And this can lead to Johnny Somali's prison time, additional years, and more consequences for him. So this is actually the move, and this is actually the tactic for Johnny Somali to escape. But this time, once again, he got caught. So what actually happened, and what is the latest update about Johnny Somali? I will break it down in this video. Let's keep watching till the end. So guys, as you know, Johnny Somali has already been fully destroyed in many ways because, as you know, he already lost his family support, he lost Hank Yu's support, he lost all of his allies and Discord support, and now he's looking like walking in the street like a homeless person. He has no money left. But that is actually why Johnny Somali is now desperately uploading videos on YouTube and also making sure his criminal videos resurface on the internet. Why? I don't even know, but there are actual reasons I will describe later, but first watch this video where Legal Mindset actually talked about this issue. As you know, what Johnny Somali is doing right now is totally disgusting and totally against the court's warning for Johnny Somali. So if Johnny Somali actually does not consider the court's decision and court's warning, Johnny Somali will face new consequences. So here in this video you can hear Legal Mindset and what he said about this.
He now knows without question the statue represents a child, 19 years old. He is threatened to go back to the statue. He is reposting videos about the statue, and I'm going to show you those in a second. He's just reposted these. The news cycle is getting to where he would act out for attention, clout, and boredom. Remember, Johnny Somali has said he cannot help himself. He cannot control himself. There's videos of him wandering around aimlessly. He started to re-upload to his social media. Now, I'm going to give a big warning here. Do not check his social media. Do not go there. Do not feed the troll. Do not give him views. Do not give him money. Do not give him anything else. Don't do that, right? Do not do that. It's not good.
Did you hear this from Legal Mindset? As I heard before, this is actually the tactic of Johnny Somali to once again make money, as he is now totally broke. He has no money left. So Johnny Somali is actually making this type of tactic to manipulate others, and actually this is the tactic to make him survive once again. So don't actually get trapped in his trap. Be careful of Johnny Somali, everyone, and also make sure to raise your voice so Johnny Somali faces the full and maximum punishment. And as you also know, the South Korean people and all the people everywhere have already made petitions and most of the things to make sure Johnny Somali faces maximum punishment.
It's time for people to think, because now people have had almost a year to think about Johnny Somali and how to prosecute him. They say, hey, wait a second, this is on the table. And people inside Korea that are very motivated to take down Johnny Somali are saying, hey, this is on the table. Now, it's creative, it's new, but if the judge in Korea and the prosecutors are mad enough, this is absolutely on the table. So what would that be? Once again, life in prison or a minimum of 5 years.
So that's how actually the judge and the prosecution are once again thinking. They had given a lot of chances to Johnny Somali, but this time they should not show him any kindness. I can guarantee you Johnny Somali's sentencing will not be less than 10 years if all of this actually goes on and the judge gives the full punishment. Guys, what do you think? Let me know about this. So, I think definitely Johnny Somali is actually making Oasis's life more. But what Johnny Somali is actually trying to do is very shady and false and unsuccessful, I think. Because remember, Johnny Somali and Hank Yu made a lot of tactics to leave South Korea and survive from all the consequences. There were plans like Hank Yu trying to make him survive, or Johnny Somali thinking of going to China after his prison time. But the reality is clear. No one will stick around for Johnny Somali anymore. He might end up spending all his time in prison, or if he somehow disappears completely from the internet, it won't change the fact that most creators and the public are already concerned about one thing. Johnny Somali's career is officially over.
He is in big trouble. The last time we checked in on him, he was trying to leave South Korea, but now he has not been allowed to leave. He is banned from traveling. He's banned from leaving the country. This man has racked up charge after charge after charge after charge. And it's not just silly stuff. like being annoying by carrying a dirty fish around the street. It's serious charges that carry minimum and maximum sentences, sometimes upwards of decades. This man is in big trouble.
So as you can see, both the public and experts are clear. Johnny Somali realistically cannot fight back. His career in South Korea is likely over. But what was Johnny Somali's own intention? What did he say before all this happened? As you might remember, or maybe not, Johnny Somali himself said that if he somehow managed to escape, he wouldn't chase clout anymore. Instead, he planned to get a proper job. You can see him saying this in the video.
Even if I did shut it off and say I quit this Johnny Somali character, I'm just gonna go back to being Ramsey. I'm gonna use my finance degree and go start a business or get a normal job and live a peaceful life back at home in America. I feel like I've had so many experiences that have been life-changing, and the resiliency it's given me, like really what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I've been through a lot of shit, and I feel like if I quit, what was the point of it?
So everyone knows that Johnny Somali is a liar. What he says about changing his character is not trustworthy or believable. I just can't believe it. So that's why actually the judge and the prosecution are once again thinking they had given a lot of chances to Johnny Somali, but this time they should not show him any kindness. I can guarantee you Johnny Somali's sentencing will not be less than 10 years if all of this actually goes on and the judge gives the full punishment. Guys, what do you think? Let me know about this. And where is the proof? Is that proof, once again, Johnny Somali re-uploading his criminal videos to earn ad revenue from YouTube? I think YouTube should ban him once again. And while the judge and the prosecution are actually seeing all of this, now this time they are surely making new big trouble for Johnny Somali. That can lead Johnny Somali's situation to become even worse, which Johnny Somali himself said before.
I think if I get sent to prison again, I'm gonna go psycho. And I think at that point, there's no more Ramsey at that point. I feel like I'll go crazy.
So that's actually why Johnny Somali is desperately trying not to go through sentencing easily, because once the sentencing happens, he will face a minimum of 5 to 8 years. Then there will be no more Johnny Somali anymore. Also, you already know his father and mother have fully turned off their support for Johnny Somali. Even Johnny Somali also said before that his father actually restricted him from the beginning when all this chaos first started.
I will say it. My father told me not to have kids. Yes, he said that. Yes, my father said, do not have kids. He did say that. I'm gonna be honest, he did say that. I don't care.
I don't know if Johnny Somali is telling the truth or not, but even if his father did say that, it's not wrong after everything Johnny has done. And yes, I know this is sharp, but his birthplace wasn't the problem. His choices were. That's why he's become a curse to himself and to the people around him. If you find my words reckless, I'm sorry. But based on what Johnny Somali has done, I think he deserves to hear this. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. So actually, right now Johnny Somali has nothing left to survive on. Nothing left. Johnny Somali is now fully ignored and rejected, walking the streets alone. Everything is gone for him, and he has almost no chance to survive. So now, Johnny Somali's father and mother should definitely cut ties with him permanently. He doesn't deserve any help. Even if they gave him support, there's no guarantee Johnny Somali would ever change or become a good person. There's literally no guarantee. Because Johnny Somali is someone who has never shown he can be good. And as the judge and the prosecution once again found out about Johnny Somali's reckless behavior before his last and main court trial, probably this time, I think Johnny Somali will not be able to handle anything. And definitely the judge will make his situation worse. What do you think? Let me know.
Is Hank Yu. Yes, that's right, Hank Yu. And he'll be called as a prosecution witness, validate evidence or validate their presence, saying, hey, is that you in this photo? Is that you in this video? So that is possible to come up in the next trial. And right before the trial, right before, he's been hit with a new charge.
Guys, we've got a big update about Hank Yu. As you know, Johnny Somali has already become the main target of the South Korean court and officials, But this time Hank Yu has also been dragged into the mess. Since Hank Yu is Johnny Somali's closest ally, the court is now targeting him as well. There are many rumors swirling that Hank Yu is trying to escape and flee South Korea, but that's not actually happening. The court is now seriously and aggressively monitoring Hank Yu. What he's doing, where he's going, and his connection to the case are all under scrutiny. Johnny Somali's next trial is coming up soon, and Hank Yu will also appear as a witness. The court is expected to question whether Hank Yu was directly involved in Johnny Somali's alleged crimes. Hank Yu in serious trouble. If the court presses him with hard questions, he may have no good answers, and he could face serious consequences. Most online articles, news media, and viral posts are now confirming that Hank Yu will indeed be both a witness and a target of the court. What Hank Yu has done with Johnny Somali in the past is also a concern. Not only that, Hank Yu is reportedly under investigation by South Korean police as part of a newly reopened case against Johnny Somali. This makes Hank Yu one of the biggest targets for both the police and the court right now. Even the channel Legal Mindset has explained how the court is now targeting Hank Yu, how he'll be a witness in Johnny Somali's next trial, and why this is such a big deal. This isn't just a routine court procedure. When you look closely, it's clear the authorities are treating Hank Yu's involvement as serious and far-reaching.
We'll focus on 3 witnesses. We know one of them is Bong Bong, we know another is Youngman, and the last we are pretty sure is Hank Yu. Yes, that's right, Hank Yu. And he'll be called as a prosecution witness. In America, you sometimes call this a hostile witness. So you're bringing that person up mostly to validate evidence or validate their presence, saying, hey, is that you in this photo? Is that you in this video? So that is possible to come up in the next trial. And then you would have, of course, cross-examination. You'd have a redirect or re-examination.
As you've heard from Legal Mindset, Hank Yu will be questioned by the court during Johnny Somali's next trial. He's expected to testify on all of the evidence connected to Johnny Somali. If the court finds proof that Hank Yu was actually involved in the same crimes as Johnny Somali, you can imagine how serious the consequences could be for him. And it doesn't stop there. The next trial is shaping up to be a complete nightmare for both Johnny Somali and Hank Yu.
Thought it was going to be Dalgoon, but actually it looks like it's going to be Hank. So that's what we got on October 29th. This is going to be a big day because remember, every single trial that we've had coming up over the past year for Johnny Somali, right before the trial, right before, whether it's 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 1 week, he's been hit with a new charge.
As I explained in my last video, Hank Yu will not be able to flee South Korea this time, and if he tries, he could face a travel ban. This time, Hank Yu is completely stuck under the watch of South Korean authorities. Why is Hank Yu being targeted now? There are many reasons. First, Hank Yu lied to the court about Johnny Somali's whereabouts. During a previous trial, he misled the court about Johnny Somali's location.
I'm not so out of his safety. I never said that I approve of everything that Johnny does. What he was doing, I think he should have gotten criminally trespassed. Done. I'm not going to mention where Johnny is right now.
This manipulation helped Johnny Somali evade legal consequences at the time. Later, it was discovered that Hank Yu had indeed lied about Johnny Somali's location, and he was confronted about it in court.
That he still actually lives at Hank's house. So, because Hank is going on to say, oh, Johnny does not live with me, I do not help Johnny anymore, I'm not associated with him anymore. Apparently, that's not true.
This proved to the authorities that Hank Yu could mislead them at any time, and that he might be a key enabler of Johnny Somali's attempts to avoid justice.
This stuff that Johnny has done in Korea would not be possible without allies that were in Korea. In fact, if Hank was not there when the police came several times, I guarantee you this would have been stopped early.
Because of this, the court now views Hank Yu as someone who can no longer be left unchecked. That's the point here. If the court doesn't take action against Hank Yu, he could be the reason Johnny Somali once again escapes full punishment. But one thing is clear. You should never believe Hank Yu. Never trust him. He's a liar just like Johnny Somali. What he says and what he does never match. And now people are starting to see that he's making everything worse, which is honestly disgusting. Just look at some of the comments people are leaving about Hank Yu. One person said the interview Hank did actually caused more damage to him than anything else before. And I agree 100% that Johnny and Hank have committed crimes on their own live streams multiple times. Another person said Hank's body language clearly showed he was lying when asked about Somali's whereabouts, and again, I agree. Someone else said Hank is going to face massive backlash very soon, and it's going to be brutal. And plenty of people are straight up saying Hank and Johnny are both pure evil. And honestly, I can't argue with that. That's the truth. People are now heavily criticizing Hank Yu for what he did, and if you look closely, even in the video video right after Johnny's court hearing when a streamer tried to ask something about Johnny Somali. Hank Yu refused to answer, almost acting like he was Johnny Somali's protector.
Yo, Johnny! Johnny, quick interview? No, I guess they don't want to. Johnny!
But remember, this is the same Hank who once said he wasn't responsible for Johnny Somali's safety.
I'm not so out of his safety.
So now people aren't confused anymore. If Hank is standing beside Johnny, then Johnny can keep doing anything he wants, making the situation worse with Hank's support. And that's why the court is now fully targeting Hank Yu from every angle. It's not just about what he allegedly did with Johnny Somali, although that's the main reason. But there's more to it. Hank Yu has repeatedly disrespected South Korea and its freedom, which is considered a serious offense there.
Korea should not be independent of either China or America because Korea will be poor as you know? So Korea cannot afford to make either America or China its enemy. Korea is best by maintaining military alliance with America and economic cooperation with China. Yeah. So therefore, I'm a centrist.
On top of that, while South Korea requires mandatory military service, Hank Yu has openly refused to join and has mocked South Korea very harshly. Seeing all of this together, the court appears to have had enough. They're no longer willing to tolerate more of Hank Yu's actions or statements. That's why they're now gathering all his clips and alleged crimes in one place, which could potentially lead to even more charges against Hank Yu. At the same time, Hank is still criticizing the South Korean legal system, but his main point is clear: get Johnny Somali out of the country for good.
Alright, I never said that I approve of everything that Johnny does. To get charged with it and to be stuck in a country, like a foreign country, for like this many months, that's that's way more.
And that's where things stand right now. With Hank Yu officially being pulled into the spotlight alongside Johnny Somali, the stakes for this next trial have never been higher. For months, people thought Hank Yu would stay in the background. Now, he's been dragged right into the center of the storm. Whether Hank Yu ends up as just a witness or faces his own charges, one thing is becoming clear. South Korean officials are done looking the other way. They're piecing together everything and tightening the net. This trial could decide not only Johnny Somali's future, but also Hank Yu's. So as we head toward the next court date, the pressure is only going to grow. Supporters and critics alike are waiting to see what testimony, evidence, and revelations will come out. Will Hank Yu's words help Johnny Somali, or will they expose an even bigger scandal? Will this trial open the door to more investigations, or bring the whole case to a close? We'll be following every development, every leak, and every twist in this story. If you've been watching from the beginning, you already know this is no longer just about one streamer. It's about an entire network of actions and consequences finally being brought into the light.
My name is Chet Sandhu, aka the King of Karachi. I smuggled roughly $50 million worth of.
Is Hank Yu. Yes, that's right, Hank Yu.
He has taken half of everything I own, and he still wants half of everything in the future, like all the future earnings and everything. And he wants all my social media accounts, and he wants my new channel I just made.
Sniper Wolf is already making light of the situation, so YouTube, please do the right thing. Get her off the platform.
YouTube should actually be fair in this and terminate her channel.
SS Sniper Wolf just ended her career. Yes, you heard that right. On a recent stream of Kai Cenat's Shetty Mafia-thon 3, things escalated so hard and so brutally that all the truths about SS Sniper Wolf were finally revealed. The internet witnessed how she ruined her own career with her own actions. This has become one of the most controversial moments in internet history, as a well-known internet figure was fully exposed. Lawsuits and old allegations are now seriously affecting her life. In this video, I'll reveal exactly how she ruined everything herself, and why any comeback is now completely impossible. You won't believe the shocking detail. So, to understand everything, mainly how she's now going to lose half of her property to her ex-husband, we need a short rewind of her past scams and allegations, and how she's facing lawsuits. S. Sniper Wolf's real name is Aliyah Shalesh. She started out making gaming videos on YouTube. She mainly made videos for Call of Duty and other shooter games. Around 2013 to 2015, she started her YouTube channel called S. Sniper Wolf. At first, her videos were small, simple, with little editing, just gameplay. Then she started uploading videos regularly. She added commentary to connect with her audience. Later, she didn't just stick to gaming. She added reaction videos, memes, and lifestyle content. Her most controversial move was trying to boost her image by targeting other streamers' content, like giving copyright strikes, to make herself look bigger.
A couple of years ago, he re-uploaded one of my videos, and you can't just take somebody else's content and re-upload it and monetize it. So I filed the copyright claim with YouTube trying to take it down. And in the copyright process, I got his real name, and of course I googled his name, and it turns out he is a registered offender.
Now you might be thinking, did she actually do something wrong by giving copyright strikes to people using her content without permission? As a creator, I don't support that. But here's the thing. Got revealed is that she was actually stealing other people's content for a long time and making money from it. She was giving fake reactions, and what she was reacting to didn't count as fair use.
And she re-rolled from reacting to gameplay to just openly reacting to other people's content without really adding too much.
All of this was exposed by another creator named Jax Films. Jax Films basically played the role of CoffeeZilla the same way he exposed Logan Paul's scams. He exposed SS Sniper Wolf. He even made a parody channel like hers to show how she had been scamming for a long time, stealing other people's content, pretending it was her own, and calling fake reactions fair use.
While she's hardly the only person stealing other people's content and reaping all the benefits. Is it because, as she suggested, with over 6 million followers, claiming she gets her ideas from her fans? But the worst thing about the tweet is this: getting video ideas from her fans. What ideas? Quite literally, all she does is upload other people's TikToks. How is that an idea? What am I not getting here?
Controversy blew up. She started receiving hate and criticism from fans and began losing subscribers. But she tried to get revenge on Jax Films by doxing him. Doxing means revealing someone's home address or private information. According to California Penal Code, it's totally illegal and punishable. And she did exactly that.
Your house right now, Jack.
Shut up.
She's literally outside your house.
Like 5 minutes ago posted.
Wait, what? She's literally right outside your house.
Oh my god!
This is happening right now. Call the police. Actually.
Wait, what?
Call the police.
No, there's a video.
She's outside your house right now.
What the?
She literally
on her
posted a
Instagram.
video on her story 5 minutes ago. Oh my gosh, she's outside her house.
Just imagine how shady a person can be. Directly attacking someone's personal life. Jax Films exposed SS Sniper Wolf, and she didn't seem to care about someone else's family or safety. Jax Films' life was actually at risk because of this.
Sniper Wolf is already making light of the situation, as if stalking someone is a quirky thing to do. No one should feel unsafe in their own home. And thanks to Sniper Wolf, my wife and I now do. So YouTube, please do the right thing and get her off the platform.
After that, SS Sniper Wolf started receiving huge criticism and hate from fans and the public. But she tried to defend herself, saying things like, "This creep has been harassing me for months," playing the victim and claiming she just wanted to talk to him. Her excuses didn't convince anyone. People were cursing her for doxing, and she even said she didn't know it was doxing. This shady behavior made her followers drop and hate her even more. Then things got worse. Her husband filed a lawsuit against her over their business. Even other big creators like Internet Anarchist explained the issue and shared how serious it was.
However, once their romantic relationship ended in September 2022, Leah decided that she didn't need her partner anymore and sought to cut him out of the business entirely. She kept all channel revenue around that period, which amounted to over $1 million, started new channels, and withheld hard drives that had proof of Young's involvement in the business. Luckily for Young, he managed to retain priority access to the SS Sniper Wolf YouTube channel and left Leah as a manager to upload videos. Although their marriage is still intact, Young had already started the divorce process in October of 2022 and was using this lawsuit to get what he felt was a rightful share of the business that they built together. Everyone now knows that her career was founded on lies since the very beginning.
Just think about it. Sniper Wolf built her entire career with the help of her husband. He researched, edited, and helped with almost everything on her content. But later, she betrayed her own partner. Luckily, her husband filed a lawsuit against her, and now all the evidence is against Sniper Wolf. Why shouldn't she face consequences when she lied about her whole career, her startup, and her earnings? Now, coming back to today's controversy, this shady streamer was invited to another shady streamer, Kai Cenat's Mafiathon 3 stream. She claimed that her husband is now on the verge of taking half of her property. Everyone is saying this is just a strategy to get sympathy or create drama, trying to manipulate the audience against the truth about her lies.
Wait, what happened to you, Mr. Sausage? Well, I know what happened.
I know, but that's what... God.
So he's suing you?
Yeah.
Why? So he owns half that?
He has taken half of everything I own. And he still wants half of everything in the future, like all the future earnings and everything. And he wants all my social media accounts. And he wants my new channel I just made.
And how long has it been going on for?
3 years.
And when do you think it's gonna be over?
Hopefully next year.
Dang. Wait.
It's like a long time. It's like, it's because we got like legally married because my parents like basically like forced us to get married. So it's like we had to like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this, but first, watch the fake reaction from Kai Cenat. He acts so supportive toward her. Everyone is saying this is just a tactic from Kai Cenat, trying to create drama and make his Mafiathon clip go viral. And it looks like it already did. So this was really Kai Cenat's strategy, not anything else. Now let's talk about S. Sniper Wolf. She's now playing the victim card, but while she was trying to take the full property she made with her husband, she was desperate not to give him a single penny. When he won the case against her, she suddenly starts acting like the victim. So guys, what do you actually think? Can you support a creator or influencer who rigs their fame with fake and stolen content and then plays the sympathy card to manipulate the audience? What should they actually face for this shady behavior? Let me know your opinion. So now, SS Sniper Wolf's situation is worse than ever. She's even losing sponsorships and other ways of making money. Rumors are spreading fast, and it's looking really bad for her.
This might have backfired on her already because a lot of people have been messaging me saying, oh, she lost her main sponsor, G Fuel, but I haven't seen an official response from G Fuel or anything yet, so I don't really know if that's real or not yet. But either way, what a garbage situation, and it's sad that this is just not that far away from reality.
On top of that, some creators are even asking YouTube and other platforms to ban her channel because of all these controversies.
YouTube should actually be fair in this and terminate her channel, or at least heavily restrict it, or severely punish her. Because letting her get away with this just sets a bad precedent to everyone on the platform.
So guys, looking at all of this, it's clear that Sniper Wolf's downfall didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of shady actions, lies, and betrayals. From stealing content, giving fake reactions, doxing, to trying to cheat her own partner, every move caught up with her. Now she's facing lawsuits, losing money, losing sponsors, and even her credibility with fans. No matter how she tries to play the victim, the truth is out, and a comeback seems almost impossible. This is a reminder for all creators. Fame built on manipulation, stolen content, or shady tactics might last for a while, but eventually, the internet always exposes the truth. So, what do you think about all this? Was Sniper Wolf's downfall deserved, or is she just being unfairly targeted? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your opinion.
Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50, he's so massive and he's so
has taken half of it.
You can see 1 count, you can see 2 count, 3 counts. We don't know yet how many they want to pursue because there are several pieces of evidence which the police find very persuasive and may indeed go forward against him. They did not throw this back. They did not try to talk anybody out of anything. They indeed said, yep, this looks like a great case for us to go forward on and a great investigation for us to pursue based on all of the information. Once again, they're receiving much more evidence than they have ever in the past.
Police were like, they really wanted her to file a report against him.
File a report for what?
So,
For what?
Guys, the Johnny Somali situation is taking a completely new turn. New charges and investigations are now backfiring on him. As I mentioned in my last video, reliable sources revealed that Johnny Somali might face consequences from immigration authorities in both South Korea and the US. But now things are getting even more serious. The police have reopened his case, and the investigation is taking a new turn. Social media has exploded with viral posts, and new evidence is coming out, especially from South Korea. People who filed petitions in court against Johnny Somali are making sure he faces the maximum punishment. And it's not just old evidence. New witnesses and shocking information are coming forward, making things even worse for him. The situation is escalating fast, and it looks like Johnny Somali might be in for some serious consequences. So what's the latest update on this case? I'll break it all down for you in this video. So here you can see these sources are saying that Johnny Somali might face potential 6th criminal charges related to assault. As you know, he already has 8 criminal charges pressed. Predictions are saying he could be pressed with 9th or 10th charges before his next trial. So here now more potential charges are emerging. As you can see, sources are saying potential crime number 6. Johnny Somali threatened Nana, one of the allies of Ice Poseidon from the beginning, if Nana submitted a police report, despite the fact Johnny Somali not only spoke to her recklessly, but also harassed her, even stalking her. So what will happen then? You can see the evidence is so clear and sharp.
Remember when I told you Nagadashi, Nagadashi? You remember? Kimori, why are you saying that? You know Johnny Somali, right? Mr. Hiroshima Nagasaki, you know that, right? Let Nana come, I'll slap that bitch in front of her boyfriend.
What you're about to watch is mostly unedited. I stream these calls live and sometimes spend hours or even days talking to these scammers, and typically on my main channel, I edit that down to say 30 minutes. But this is almost the entire thing. Occasionally, we'll cut out long periods of silence, or if I go to the bathroom or something, we'll cut that out. But for the most part, you're just gonna get the complete full experience as if you were really there when I spent hours talking to this scammer. I hope you enjoy, and if you get a chance, maybe share this with someone who you think will enjoy it as well. Know that you're valuable and that you matter. In the time it takes to watch this video, $3 million will be stolen globally due to scams. I'm Kipogo. I've been investigating and educating on scams since 2017. My team and I developed Seraph Secure, the first anti-scam software solely dedicated to protecting people from online scams. Seraph Secure is the hero you need, since 1 in 4 people fall victim to scams. Many online scams start with victims being tricked into downloading remote access software. It allows the scammer to take control of your computer from anywhere in the world, as if they were sitting right in front of it. Even if you hang up on the scammer, you're still in danger if that remote access software is not uninstalled. And what do I mean by danger? Well, the scammers will have unrestricted access to your computer, even when you're not using it. This means your personal documents, photos, webcam, passwords, even your bank accounts can be accessed by the scammers. With Seraph Secure, it will completely block these scammers from using remote access software, leaving you and your online information safe, secure, and protected. This service is free, with premium plans also available for more ways to protect against more scams on more devices. Like how Seraph Secure will notify a loved one if you're being targeted by a scam. The financial devastation and emotional toll these scams have on victims deserves a proactive anti-scam solution. A Seraph Secure solution. Get protection for free at seraphsecure.com.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm sorry to hear that. I am really good, actually. I hope I can make you feel a little better with the things I have to say to you. So, firstly, Mr. Thomas, my name is Franco Orlando. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Franco. Nice to meet you too. I hope that you can help make me feel better today.
I hope that too, sir. So, my call is regarding to a problem of yours, but it has its benefits. Now, I am calling you from Anti-Fraud Department of Blockchain. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
No. No, what are you talking about? The anti-fraud blockchain?
Anti-Fraud Department of Blockchain.
Hold on one second. I'm getting another call. Hold on one second. Hello, this is Thomas.
Hello, Thomas.
Yeah, this is Tom.
Hi, Tom. My name is George. I'm calling you from Quantum AI. How are you doing today? How are you?
Hold on a minute. I'm on with anti-fraud. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm all ears.
Now, sir, as I told you, I work for the Anti-Fraud Department, which is a department anti-fraud.
Hello?
Yes, hi, Thomas.
Great. Now, the reason why the Anti-Fraud Department is calling you, because your name, Thomas Goodwill, I hope your will is like your surname.
Yeah.
The reason why you're getting this call is because...
Like someone's aunt and uncle? Auntie?
No. Anti.
Oh, anti.
A-N-T-I. Anti. I don't know how you pronounce it, but where I'm from, we say anti.
Okay, and where is that?
Now,
that you're from?
I'm originally from Italy, Genova, but I live in UK since I was a young children.
Oh, okay. That's great to hear. That's great. I hope to go to Italy someday.
Well, if you want me, I can help you with some agencies. Now.
All right, so what's going on with the auntie? Sorry, anti. That was rude of me. I didn't mean to be like that.
Now,
tell me.
Now, your name, Thomas Goodwill, has been associated with some activities with ghost companies. Do you recall
with a ghost? What?
Ghost companies, sir. Do you know what a ghost company is?
I've heard of ghouls, but not ghost companies. What is that?
Ghost companies, the ghost company term comes from scamming camps. Scammers or fraudsters.
Oh.
To put it in simpler words. Do you recall on doing something like that?
No, I think I got involved in a scam a while back, if that's what you mean.
Yes. Well, when you did it, what did you lose and what did you give to the person you talked to?
I went to a conference the other day where they were talking about frauds. But yeah, I remember getting involved in a situation a couple months back. It was like an investing thing with quantum artificial investing.
I understand. Yeah, that's why.
Have you ever heard of that? You ever heard of quantum investing?
I hear it. I hear it every day, sir, because my dad
Well, let me tell you how it happened. I found out about it online. And I put some money in there. Put a little bit in. I think I started with $350 or something like that. And boy, you wouldn't believe it. I was making money hand over fist. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does hand over fist mean?
Hand over fist.
I gotta look that up.
Hand over fist.
Is it like rock, paper,
You
scissors?
said it, sir. What are you talking about, sir?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to look up.
First of all, quantum AI that you talked about is a trap which a lot of my clients have been falling to.
Oh,
it's
man.
Not a real.
I made a lot of money there, though.
company.
I haven't been able to take the money out yet because I'm not sure if it's a scam or not. They keep telling me I can't take the money out.
You are talking to a guy to help you take the money out?
No, they keep telling me that I can't take the money out because they keep making excuses.
Let me tell you, how much money did you put in there?
Well, I got started, like I said, with maybe $200-300, and then when I started making money, it turned from $200 to $500 to $1,000, and then I put in $5,000, and then that started starting to cook. It went from 5,000 to
interrupt you for a
a
moment.
couple weeks later it was 20, and then I got a reverse mortgage on my
I
house.
want to be admired.
I mean, anyways, I
question,
started quanting, you know. And
I have one question.
next thing you know,
This whole procedure,
I'm in the hundreds of thousands.
This whole procedure, did you do it by yourself, or did somebody suggest you to do it, or help you to?
Someone was helping me.
Was that somebody who you never met and talked only on the phone?
Well, I was hoping to get romantically involved. Her name was Lana. I was hoping that we could get romantically involved. There was a little bit of flirting going on, a little bit of romantic.
Well, let me tell you, that's a method which a lot of scammers use.
Okay. So you're thinking that it was a scam then, for sure? God, that's terrible.
Of course, because there's no other reason
that's
that I would
terrible.
call you.
Oh, jeez.